I think the significance thing is kind of dumb. I think if you just like something, you should be able to wear it. But I'm a white man, so I want to know nothing about that. But that's my definition of it. But their definition is that you can't even have the shit on display because then you are culture appropriating it, which means that you just can't do it at all. If you're not part of that culture, then you just can't do it. Then what they are doing is culture appropriation or gender appropriation or whatever. I don't really know, man.
Subscribe to this channel. In case you are watching this channel and have not subscribed.
This is a pretty amazing clip from some podcast. I don't even sure what podcast it is, but it doesn't matter. This featuring a group of black drag queens talking about the dangers of cultural appropriation. Yes, these people are very worried about appropriation. Listen.
I just feel like there's such a long-rooted history in appropriation from Black culture. Like, for instance, like when I go to the Metropolitan Museum and I see things that they've taken from Africa, I see things that they've taken from Nubia, and then you go and you, yes, and then you go and you look at these pillars, and then there's this white man, Samuel something, 1800, going and saying, I'm putting my ownership on something that was never mine to begin with. And then they go, yeah, I discovered it. So then it gives me this ownership, like I can take it and it can be mine. And I feel like it's that.
So since they're drag queens, they're males, right? Like, or can trans women be drag queens now? Or am I a bigot for asking? Let me know down below.
Entitlement, that is one thing that we really need to discuss. Like, there is a way, I feel, to very much so appreciate somebody's culture, but so many times, like Bob says, there are times where, they cite the source, but they don't.
Yes, these people are worried about appropriation. This is like irony overload. And what the hell is this? Those little baby heads on this man's dress there. I think that's. Do my eyes deceive me? Yeah, that's what he's wearing.
Is he gonna go the appropriation route because they're appropriating women's shit? I'm curious on where he's gonna take this.
That's not satanic at all. So you've got these people. Like I can't even say dressed as a woman because I've never known a woman to take the severed heads of baby dolls and fasten them to her dress. That's not something a woman would do. But they are attempting anyway to appropriate womanhood, and at the same time, they're warning about the dangers of cultural appropriation. And what's the example they give for cultural appropriation? The first thing he says is a museum. So taking artifacts, cultural artifacts, and putting them on display in a museum is appropriation now? Isn't that, what exactly is the difference? Can these people articulate anymore a distinction between paying homage to a culture or, paying tribute to a culture, showing respect to a culture and appropriating it? Is there even any difference anymore in their minds? Of course there isn't. I mean, there was a time not that long ago, like, 15 seconds ago, where for museums to have multicultural displays, that was the politically correct thing to do. It also made sense for a museum because if you're going to a museum, you want to learn about world history, it's going to show you artifacts of world history.
Right.
But now you can't even do that without being accused of appropriation. And
correct me if I'm wrong, but they were talking about how they had these artifacts and they didn't have any description on where it was from, right?
It's like there is a way, I feel, to very much so appreciate somebody's culture, but so many times, like Bob says, there are times where, they cite the source, but they don't.
I doubt that. That just didn't even sound right coming in my mouth. I don't understand why any museum would have something on display without somewhere wrote where it came from and what the significance of it is. But isn't that what they were saying? Let me know. I'm almost positive that's what he said, the drag queen said. I don't know.
Yet these men who are wearing womanhood as a costume are somehow not guilty of it themselves. That'll do it for this portion of the show. As we move over to the members block. If you're not a member yet.
I mean, technically, that is exactly what a drag queen is, right? Like Raw Paul or whatever. Is he a guy? I'm assuming he's still a guy. But drag queens are gay men that dress as women, right? Like that's what they do. They are gay men that dress up to be beautiful women. So I mean, I guess that is I don't know, because in my opinion of what cultural appropriation is if you take someone's culture, someone's lifestyle, country, whatever, if you take their culture and you disgrace it or wear it without appreciating it or wearing it without knowing the significance of it, then that's what cultural appropriation is. I think the significance thing is kind of dumb. I think if you just like something, you should be able to wear it. But I'm a white man, so I want to know nothing about that. But that's my definition of it. But their definition is that you can't even have the shit on display because then you are culture appropriating it, which means that you just can't do it at all. If you're not part of that culture, then you just can't do it. Then what they are doing is culture appropriation or gender appropriation or whatever. I don't really know, man. I don't really know. I don't believe in that shit at all. I think all that shit is fucking dumb. It is a very, very obvious distraction for us to divide us, to make us keep fighting. But I'm gonna end that video there. Please like the video. If you got anything to say about the video, let me know down below. And if y'all fuck with y'all boy, well, y'all please give me a subscription. With that being said, deuces.
I was so far at the bottom, I'm still trying to make it up. Little broke, dirty nigga, but was trying to run it up. And I've been the most hated, I can't make this shit up. Always been an outlaw, really never give a fuck. Mama and my granny always praying for a nigga. Luckily, won't ride with no niggas that I know wouldn't bust for me. Never really care about them niggas who didn't fuck with me. Just know if you my dog, then you forever stuck.